What is going on, Crimson Tide fans? We are finally back in our Chat Sports Cincinnati offices after going down to our Dallas office for the 2025 NFL Draft, and it was an amazing time. Hope you guys joined us, whether it was on a team channel or on our main channel here at Chat Sports. So we're going to take a look at where all 7 Alabama players who did get drafted, where they landed, some UDFAs, where did they sign, and also we're going to take a look at the 2026 way too early PFF Mock Draft and where they drafted some of those Alabama players and what Alabama players could possibly go in that first round. So let me know, how many Alabama players do you think will get drafted in the first round in the 2026 NFL Draft? We'll get to some more, recruiting and stuff like that probably tomorrow, but, one last draft video here for us. So let me know what you guys think here in the comment section of today's show. All right, let's break down where some of these Alabama's players went here in the 2025 NFL Draft. Tyler Booker was the first Alabama player off the board here, round 1, pick number 12 to the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be completely honest, I expected Tyler Booker to go in the first round. I did not really expect him to go as early as he did, but I'm totally fine with it, honestly. I think I really like this fit in Dallas for Tyler Booker. I know some Dallas Cowboys fans definitely wanted a wide receiver at that spot, but, something that Brian Schottenheimer, has said time and time again since being hired as the Cowboys' new head coach, they want to focus on running the ball and do that better than they have here in the past couple of years. So adding one of the best offensive guards in this 2025 draft class, that certainly should help the Dallas Cowboys run the ball better, and something that Tyler Booker really, really does love to do is run blocks. So I really do like that fit for the Cowboys. Jihaad Campbell here. The Eagles actually traded up to get Jihaad Campbell 1 pick, and I was a little bit confused why they traded up 1 pick to get Jihaad Campbell. But if you really do like a guy that much and maybe thought that the Kansas City Chiefs might take him, which I don't necessarily think that they would have done that either, but it prevents somebody else moving back up into the first round to get Jihaad Campbell. I really do love this fit there with the Philadelphia Eagles. He goes pick number 31 in the first round. I said it all the time. I thought, Jihaad Campbell was the best player on Alabama's defense this past year. And just this fit with the Philadelphia Eagles, they just continue to do it, man. Alabama players, Georgia players, when you're building a team, I think Howie Roseman does a very, very good job of that. You just target the best players on the best programs in the country. It seems to be working out pretty well after they won, the Super Bowl this past season. Their defense has just gotten even better. So let me know here at the pinned comment of today's video, what player are you most excited to watch in the NFL? Former Alabama players, of course. Let me know what you guys think at the pinned comment of today's video. That ad's going to play right here on YouTube. That is totally fine. Ignore it. Get down there. Let me know what you guys think. All right, round 3, pick number 92 overall. Jaylen Milroe finally off the board here to the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be honest, I thought this is kind of the exact, spot that Jaylen Milroe probably should have gone. The upside, I think he's probably got the highest upside in the draft. Cam Ward's obviously a phenomenal talent as well, but when you add in that running ability that Jaylen Milroe has, we'll see what happens. I think this is a good spot for him here too with the Seattle Seahawks. You got Sam Darnold there that he can sit behind and learn for at least a season or two probably. I do really like this fit for Jaylen Milroe. I think the ceiling is so high for this kid, and I just hope he can grow into a phenomenal NFL player despite, all the negativity that he has got, this past season and last year from a lot of Alabama fans. All right, the next player, Malachi Moore. This is one of my favorite guys that got drafted for Alabama. I was so excited for him when he went to the New York Jets. I will be completely honest, I hate the Jets, so I kind of hate that he did go to the Jets, but I'm very excited for him there going in the 4th round, pick number 130 overall. Not sure exactly if he's going to play safety or if he's going to play nickel spot for the Jets, but at the end of the day, it's a good fit, and, for a guy that just bleeds, crimson and white, I really do love this for, Malachi Moore. Quandarius Robinson, this might be my favorite pick in the draft for Alabama players. Goes to the Broncos in the 4th round. Just a couple picks there after Malachi Moore as well. Look, man, Quandarius Robinson, he had his ups and downs at Alabama. But, I think his ceiling is very, very high as well. Didn't really play, a lot until his final season at Alabama, but that's not because he isn't a very good pass rusher. Just had a lot of talent in front of him when, he was at Alabama. Had to wait his turn. That happens, and I do think the ceiling can be very high for Quandarius Robinson. Obviously, fell a little bit because of that injury that he suffered late in the season as well. But I think the Broncos really did get a, sleeper steal, which that isn't something that you normally say for picks out of Alabama. But I do think Quandarius Robinson is a massive sleeper pick there in the 4th round for the Denver Broncos. Make sure you guys go over to Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/Alabama jerseys. You guys can get up to 30% off right now. I believe the deal they've got going is pretty much $45 off, from the regular jerseys there. They've got customizable jerseys. They've got the red, they got the crimson, they've got the white. They've also got alumni jerseys that you guys can get as well. And I was even looking on the website. They've got Ryan Williams jerseys on sale right now for $105. They're usually about $150. So if you guys want some Alabama gear, make sure you go over to Fanatics. That's chatsports.com/Alabama jerseys. Those jerseys are on sale right now, so make sure you guys take advantage of it. Get over there. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. And there should also be a little clickable link over there in the corner of your screen as well. All right, Robbie Uts is the next player here that got drafted 5th round, number 175 to the Seattle Seahawks. Going to be joining Jaylen Milroe there. And I'll be completely honest, I was kind of surprised that Robbie Uts went before CJ Dupree. I do like Robbie Uts, but in his time at Alabama, he was more of a blocking tight end. They really didn't utilize him a ton, but maybe he can fit into that Seattle offense the way they like. Excited for Robbie Uts. He just continues to extend his career. Hopefully he can also extend that mustache because it's definitely one of the best mustaches in the 2025 NFL Draft. Last player that got drafted here for the Crimson Tide, Tim Smith, goes in the round 6, pick number 190 overall to the Indianapolis Colts there. Really hope he's a guy that can, just continue to grow in his development. I thought last year was probably his best season with Alabama, especially towards the end of the season. I thought he did some really good things in that Michigan game as well. Super excited there. Tim Smith getting drafted to the Indianapolis Colts in round 6. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We were ahead by a lot on our Ohio State Football Report YouTube channel in terms of our sub battle here in the month of April, but they have caught up and we are only 7 subscribers ahead of them. So make sure we need to blow them out of the water. They beat us in the NFL Draft this year. We want to beat them in subscribers here in the month of April. So make sure you guys hit that sub button and stay up to date on all Alabama football news. All right, the Crimson Tide also had 4 other players that did not get drafted this year. James Burnip, these guys ended up signing as undrafted free agents. He ends up signing with the New Orleans Saints. Really do love that there. The punter out of Alabama. And then Nealon Hibbett, long snapper, ends up signing with the Miami Dolphins. CJ Dupree, I'm very shocked that he wasn't selected at all in the NFL Draft. That one really did surprise me there. Ends up signing with the New England Patriots. Really do like that fit down there with Mike Vrabel. And then you have Graham Nicholson. He is still, as of right now, remains unsigned, but he was one of the best kickers in the country a couple of years ago when he was at Miami of Ohio, wins that award as the best kicker in the country. So might take a little bit, but look, kickers in the NFL, they're always looking for them. So I would not be surprised if Graham Nicholson ends up finding his way onto an NFL roster, probably sooner rather than later, but it might take a little bit of time for him to get signed. All right, next up, we're going to take a look at the Pro Football Focus Way Too Early 2026 NFL Mock Draft. This one was by Dalton Wasserman. So I just want to kind of take a look at where he had some of these Alabama players going in the first round anyways of this 2026 class. First up here, first I do want to mention as well, he had these by betting odds in terms of the teams and where they're at anyways. Kadyn Proctor, he's got him going number 1 overall to the New York Giants. Like I said, the Giants may not be picking there, but it's the order there is by the betting odds. I think Kadyn Proctor this past season, he was a little bit banged up throughout the season, but man, he was a whole lot better than he was in his freshman year. If he can just continue that trend of getting better and better and better, and if he can stay healthy, I do think he can be one of the top players in this 2026 NFL draft. He is an offensive tackle. We've seen offensive tackles go extremely high in the draft before. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he was one of the best players in that 2026 class. We're just going to have to see, but he's just going to have to continue to keep growing and growing. Deontae Lawson had him going in the first round, number 22 overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It just continues the trend there of Alabama players on defense getting drafted to the Bucs. I would love that fit there. We'll see how Deontae Lawson can come back from that injury and if he can, continue to get better and better, because I do think in his time at Alabama, he's just gotten better and better and better. Obviously, that injury, really hurt last year, of course, but we'll see what he can do when he comes back this year. And then LT Overton, just a couple picks later to the Washington Commanders, number 24 overall. I absolutely love this pick, of LT Overton to the Commanders. Got a ton of pressures for Alabama last season. We'll see if he can turn those pressures into sacks going in to the 2025 season for the Crimson Tide. I do think there are also, I put 8 on here, but there might be a couple more, like especially those at that wide receiver spot. Really didn't know, what to do with Jeremy Bernard. He's a little bit smaller of a guy, and Alabama's got a solid wide receiver core. That's probably going to, take some receptions and some yards away from some other guys. So I just left off, Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton here. But man, Damani Jackson, Keon Sabb, those are definitely two guys who could be the best safety, or maybe the second base safety there in Keon Sabb. But I do think Damani Jackson could be the best cornerback in this 2026 NFL draft class. Jaden Roberts, threw him on there because I do think if he just stays healthy, he's one of the most powerful offensive guards in the country. I think he has a shot to go in the first round. I thought it last year as well, but this past season, obviously, he was really kind of, banged up most of the season. Parker Brailsford, definitely one of the best centers in the country. NFL doesn't love drafting centers in the first round a lot of the times, but we'll see what happens there with Parker Brailsford. Definitely do like him as well. And then Quay Russaw, man, we'll see what happens. He showed a lot of flashes this past season. I think he could definitely play himself into the first round there. James Smith, same thing there. Tim Keenan, probably he's just a bully when it comes to the interior of that defensive line there. Really good run stopper. We'll see how he plays this year. Same with Ty Simpson as well. I'm wondering, really the only reason I put Ty Simpson on here is because kind of that Mac Jones route. Obviously, he waited his turn. He had a phenomenal season in his 1 year or as the starter for Alabama. Just kind of threw Ty Simpson in there, kind of following that same route there as Mac Jones, who of course also went in the first round.